On the April 3 episode of her podcast, Casual Chaos with Giudice, Teresa Giudice's daughter spoke about visiting Joe, who's been living on the island since 2021 after his deportation from the United States. Though Gia and her sisters maintain an active relationship with their dad and visit often, the eldest Giudice sibling noted it's not always easy. "I mean, we do visit him, but it's not the same as having your father present," Gia shared on the podcast. "It's definitely rough even now. I actually just got back from visiting him. Arriving in the Bahamas is always so amazing. Leaving is the hardest part." Gia added about the challenging visits, "I don't think the tears will ever end." She later continued, "I know he might have not made the best decisions, but he wasn't ever hurting anybody. He was never malicious. There was no malicious intent, and he's just not a malicious person." Despite the challenges living apart, Joe and his daughters always celebrate their time together, including reflecting on past moments in their lives. In February, Joe took a heartfelt trip down memory lane, sharing precious throwback photos of his daughters Gia and Melania on Instagram. In one photo, Joe reminisced about a cherished family moment, writing, "This was a special day celebrating Gia's baptism with the family. Moments like these are what life is all about, so grateful for these memories." The image featured baby Gia in a sweet white dress and bonnet, cradled by her parents, Joe and Teresa. Another throwback showed a bundled-up baby Gia in a pink coat and a light blue striped hat, being held lovingly by Joe. Gia responded in the comments with 2 red heart emojis, clearly touched by her dad's post. Joe also included a touching photo of himself with a toddler-aged Melania, lovingly calling her his little princess as she hugged him tightly around the neck. On a recent episode of Teresa's Turning the Tables podcast, Joe opened up about how he's getting along in the Bahamas. "Well, I mean, you got friends, family. I mean, everything," he said on the episode. "You grow up someplace, you get used to everything. I mean, that's why I adapted here in the Bahamas, Nassau, because it's kind of like Americanized, and I always see American people here. So I kind of feel like I'm close to home. When I was in Italy, it wasn't really the same. It was nice, but it just felt far. Like here, it's close. It's only 2.5 hours away. And I guess because everybody comes and visits me, I don't feel like I'm too far." Giudice reveals the hardest part about visiting her dad Joe in the Bahamas. As the sun sets over the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, casting a golden glow across the horizon, moments of tranquility often envelop those seeking solace. For Giudice, this picturesque location serves as both a paradise and a reminder of complex family dynamics. The daughter of Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Giudice and her estranged husband Joe Giudice, Gia's visits to her father have become charged with emotions, memories, and the bittersweet reality of familial love. #A dynamic shift. Gia, the oldest of Teresa and Joe's 4 daughters, has witnessed profound changes in her family structure over the years. Joe, who faced legal troubles leading to his deportation to Italy, has since relocated to the Bahamas, where he has begun to rebuild his life. For Gia, those visits to her dad are not merely about enjoying the sun-kissed beaches or tropical climate. They also represent a journey fraught with emotional complexity. "What makes it hard is that I see my dad living a life that feels distant from the one I knew," Gia admitted in a candid interview. "Every time I visit him, I carry the weight of the past and my hopes for the future." This statement encapsulates the essence of her struggle, the juxtaposition of the idyllic surroundings with the emotional turmoil that shadows family reunions. The challenge of acceptance. During her visits, Gia often grapples with a myriad of feelings, from nostalgia to sadness. "The hardest part is coming to terms with how different things are now," she reflected. "We used to be a close-knit family, and now it feels like there are so many layers between us." Emotional acceptance looms large as she faces the reality that her father will not be the same Joe she remembers from her childhood. The playful, exuberant dad is replaced by a man who has endured significant hardship, a transformation that is difficult for Gia and her sisters to reconcile. Each encounter prompts her to confront changes not just in her father, but also in her own identity as a daughter navigating adulthood in a fractured family. Gia's visits are filled with laughter as she shares memories of her younger days, fond anecdotes about family holidays, the silly interactions that made their bond special. Yet those laughs are often laced with an undercurrent of pain. "I miss the way things used to be, where we could all just be together as a family," she shared, her voice tinged with longing. "Now, those moments feel like they belong to a different life, and it breaks my heart." The weight of responsibility. As the eldest daughter, Gia has also taken on a role that is both comforting and burdensome. "Sometimes I feel like a caretaker, which is a responsibility I'm proud of but also overwhelmed by," she acknowledged. "I want to support my dad, be there for him, but it's tough when you're still processing your own feelings." When Gia visits, she often finds herself being the emotional anchor for her siblings, encouraging them to open up and share their feelings about their dad. "I try to be strong for them, but it's hard to be strong when I'm still figuring things out myself." The weight of this responsibility can be exhausting, as she juggles her own personal challenges with the emotional complexities of her family dynamic. Conversations in aspects of her visits is the environment that the Bahamas presents, a peaceful backdrop that fosters open dialogue. "The beauty of the place helps in a way," Gia explained. "Being surrounded by such serenity makes it easier to have the hard conversations we need to have." In these tranquil moments, they can talk about their past, their hopes, and the future, granting them a rare opportunity to connect amidst the chaos of their lives back in New Jersey. Yet, even in this paradise, the emotional struggles linger. Reflecting on a recent conversation with her father, Gia recounted, "We talked about how hard it is for him to be away from us, but also how he's trying to make the best of things. It's a complicated mix of love and pain." For Gia, these talks are healing yet heart-wrenching. They allow her to see the human side of her father, a man layered with regrets and unresolved emotions, while also making her confront the sacrifice of their relationship. Finding hope. Despite the challenges that accompany her visits, Gia has discovered moments of hope and resilience interspersed with the sorrow. "After every visit, I remind myself of the good things," she noted. "Like the fact that he's still my dad, and despite everything, we have each other." It's this perspective that allows her to navigate the difficult emotions that arise during these encounters. Interestingly, social media plays a fascinating role in Gia's relationship with her father. The platforms serve as a double-edged sword, offering both a space for connection and a forum for scrutiny. "It's hard when I see people judging my dad from the outside looking in," she confessed. "They don't know the real story. They don't see him like I do." This realization has led Gia to develop a thicker skin and a deeper sense of empathy. She understands that, despite public perception, her father is still a man trying to make amends and find his place in the world. It is this understanding that fuels her hope for their future connection. Embracing change. As summer visits evolve, Gia is learning to embrace change. She is adopting a mindset that allows room for growth and flexibility, recognizing that while her family might not have the traditional structure she once knew, love can still manifest in different ways. "I tell myself that family isn't about proximity. It's about the bond you share, and that's something we will always have," she expressed. In the end, Giudice's experiences in the Bahamas with her dad are a testament to resilience and hope. They encapsulate the intricate interplay of love, loss, acceptance, and healing. As she navigates these emotional waters, she embarks on a journey not just to reconnect with her father, but also to redefine what family means to her in a world that has changed so much. With each visit, Jill learns more about herself and her capacity for love and forgiveness. It's a hard yet essential lesson, one that reminds us all that the strongest bonds can withstand the fiercest storms, even under the warmth of the Bahamian sun.